welcome back to my channel. So today slash all this upcoming week, I'm going to be doing another 1 week 1 palette for you guys. I will have the other 3 linked down below that I have done in the past. I've done the Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette, the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and then also the Anastasia Beverly Hills X Jackie Aina palette. So I will have all those linked down below for you. But this week, we are using the new Natasha Denona Zendo palette. So this is what this baby looks like. I think the color story is absolutely stunning. I am so excited to be using this for you this week. I cannot wait to make 5 more looks for you. If you missed it, I went ahead and did like a first impressions 1 look with it a couple weeks back. I will also have that link down below for you in case you want to check that out. But I said in that video that I just didn't have like my full thoughts on it, that 1 look I made was just not enough for me to be able to recommend it or not recommend it to you guys. I liked the look, but I struggled with a couple of them, and I'm just excited to keep playing with it this week and trying all the colors, trying 5 different new looks for you guys. So before we get started, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for you guys. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help me out. And other than that, if you are excited and you want to see 5 different looks with my 1 week 1 palette with the Natasha Denona Zendo palette, then let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I went ahead and primed my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly, and I'm actually going to take the e.l.f. Line and Define eye tapes. They look like this. I'm going to peel one of them off, cut it in half, and we're going to make a sharp line on my outer V, the outer part of my eye. You guys have seen me use these a bunch in the past. I really like these. I think they're great for just getting that like sharp line. Okay, I'm not sure if those look even at all, but here we are. Okay, so the look I have in mind, I'm hoping it turns out really well because I'm not so sure. But what we're gonna start off with is I'm gonna start off with Breath right here. It's like the minty green. It's a very beautiful color. So we're gonna pack that all over the lid, up into the crease, just pretty much everywhere. This is one of her cream to powder eyeshadows, so I'm using a pretty dense brush. This is a Morphe M167. I did not set my MAC Paint Pot. I know usually I do set it, but for today I did not. I'm gonna go in with my finger and see if that picks it up a little bit better. There we go. That brush wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't like picking it up too well. And then I'm going to take another brush and just try to buff this into the crease, make sure there's no harsh lines. Okay, this shade is getting a little like, not patchy, but it's like not as opaque as I would like. I don't know. Let's try the other eye with just my finger, see if that helps. I know her cream to powder formulas can be a little difficult to use if you're not used to them, which I am not, so I have to try to figure out the best method of applying it. This shade is pretty, but it's like not, I don't know. It's like not as opaque. It's just like kind of getting almost like balled up, not pilling, but just like not blending in as nicely up here as I would prefer. All right, I got that Breath shade all like blended out and packed onto my lid. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite shade at all. I'm struggling with it kind of a lot. It's just like not looking that great. It's not that blended, and now there's like a huge dip in it, and it looks like I've literally used this eyeshadow 50 times and I used it 1 time. So I don't know how I feel about that. I could just be the cream to powder formula. Like I said, they're kind of hard to work with. So now what I'm going to do is take this Zeal shade down in the corner, and we're just going to make a liner out of it and smoke that out. I think Zeal is one of her like normal matte shades, which I definitely prefer that. And then I'm just going to smoke it out with a more domed brush. Kind of looks like mint chocolate chip. I did not intend that, but I like mint chocolate chip ice cream. Okay, and that's really all I wanted to do on this eye look today. I don't know, I don't love it, but you know what? I've said this a million times and I really do mean it. I'm going to get the rest of my makeup done, everything done, because I feel like when you get the rest of your makeup done, sometimes you may not like an eye look, but when the rest of your makeup is done, it really does tend to hopefully come together. So I'm gonna go do that, finish up my makeup, everything. I will come back on, show you the final look, and run down what I use. So I will be right back. Alrighty, so here is the final look for day 1. All I did was take that green Breath shade and run it along my lower lash line. If you can tell, like when I come up close, can you tell that like that shade is almost like balling up and like flaking off and getting like into my eye lines? Can you tell that? I don't know. I don't know if I like that shade. But for the rest of my makeup, for primer, I use my Huda Beauty Water Jelly Hydrating Primer. For foundation, I use my Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. I have this shade Fair 30N. For concealer, I use my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue concealer. I have the shade 03 Fair. To set it all, I use my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. For bronzer, I use my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Bronzer. This stuff's amazing. For blush, I use my Hourglass Diffused Heat blush. This is just like such a pretty little coral shade I thought would go with the mint really well. For highlight, I use my Ofra and Steph Tom's Milk and Cookie highlight. Then for, what else? For mascara, I use my Marc Jacobs At Lashed, right? Yeah, At Lashed Lifting Mascara. For brows, I use my Urban Decay Brow Blade and then topped it with my ABH Clear Brow Gel. This mini is still going strong. I cannot believe it. I did end up using my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Brightening Pencil in the shade Light 1 in my waterline. Then for lips, I lined my lips with my KKW Beauty Nude One lip liner and then put my Huda Beauty like cream lipstick on it in the shade Impress on top. And then lastly, I'm pretty sure that's all for setting spray. I use my Benefit the Porefessional Super Setter. So that was the rest of my makeup. I overall like how this look turned out. Like from far away, I think it's pretty. I like the mint. I like that like dark brown liner that's like kind of smudgy and smoked out. I think it overall ended up being a pretty look, but up close that shade is just like cracking off, and I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm so excited to keep playing with this palette the rest of the week. But yeah, this first day was a little rough, but that is all for me. I'm gonna go ahead and go on with the rest of my day. I'm gonna film another video after this, and I will see you in a second for day 2. Alrighty, we are back for day 2 with my Natasha Denona Zendo palette. Today, we are gonna stick more with these blue shades. So we got Flow and Equilibrium, and I have said this in the past, I'm not a blue eyeshadow kind of gal, so we shall see how this goes. But of all my plans this week and all the days to be able to wear blue eyeshadow, today is the best day for like what I've got going on. So we are gonna start off with this balanced shade right here and put that into our crease. This is her traditional matte formula, which I am really glad about because yesterday, using one of her cream to powder formulas, oh man, I struggled. This shade is very beautiful. It's blending out very nicely. It's getting patchy on my inner corner right here, but if you're not new to my channel, you know that that always happens to me. Does not matter. Please excuse my voice. I thought I had a cold, but I think I'm realizing now that I'm just like having allergies, which is weird. I like never get allergies. I guess this year's pollen count is like really, really bad, and I'm like not feeling well at all. So if I sound a little like nasally and congested, it's because I am. So sorry about that. Alrighty, and now we're going to add the blue. We're gonna do something really simple. I'm gonna put my NYX glitter primer down all over my lid, and then I'm gonna do kind of like a halo eye. So I'm gonna put this Equilibrium shade on the outer and inner portions of my eye, and then put this Flow shade in the middle. You've seen me do an eye look like this a million times. Ooh, that is dark and deep. Oh man, okay. All right, so that's Equilibrium, and now we're gonna take that Flow shade and just tap it in the middle. I'm gonna pat to like mesh the two together a little bit better. I'm actually really liking how these two shades go together. They're really, really pretty. Okay, I like that. I think I'm gonna try to take a tiny bit of Mindful, which is this darker brown shade up here in the corner. This is her cream to powder, so I'm hoping this doesn't mess up my look, but I just want to put a little bit into the crease, mesh these darker shades with that light brown. Oh, okay, yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks way better. Like there's like a really harsh line on this side, and then this side it definitely like gradients together a little bit more. I'm gonna go pick up our clickless Kroger order in a little bit, like an hour, and hopefully the little teenagers that work there are like to my blue eyeshadow. But I like it. I think it's pretty. Okay, we are going to leave it there for now. I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup, and I will be back with the final look in just a minute. All right, so here's the final look for day 2. If you can tell, the blue like shimmers are going up into my crease really, really badly, especially on this eye. And like I've had this makeup on for a couple minutes. Normally that happens by like the end of the day, but I don't understand why that's happening. I'm gonna try to like fix it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I always get transfer up there because like that's just how my eyes are shaped. Like you can tell that it's touching. Like I've got hooded eyes, I guess. But I don't know. It normally doesn't happen this bad this quickly. So I don't love that. I feel like this is like day 2 in a row that I'm kind of struggling a little bit with this palette. So, okay, all I did to finish up was just put this balanced shade, this brown shade on my lower lash line. That was it. Then for the rest of my makeup, for primer, I used my Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. For foundation, I used the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Foundation Plus Concealer. Oh my goodness, I'm doing a wear test today on it. So I'll have that video linked down below because it's definitely going to go up before this one. And so far, I am so impressed. I just applied it though, so we shall see how it wears. For concealer, I use my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue concealer. I set everything with my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. For bronzer, I use my Maybelline City Bronzer. Blush, I use my M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blush in the shade Faded Clementine. Then for highlight, I use my Ofra and Steph Tom's Milk and Cookie highlight again because I think I used this yesterday because I'm just like obsessed. I love it so much. For brows, I use my Precisely My Brow by Benefit and my ABH Clear Brow Gel. For mascara, I use my Tarte Maneater. Finally opened this up. It's been in my collection for like almost a year, just sitting there waiting for me to use it. And oh, it's just so good. I love this mascara so stinking much. For lips, I have on the e.l.f. and Jen Atkins. I don't really know exactly what this is called. It's like the two-sided dual end thing where it's got a liner on one side and the lipstick on the other, and it's like the brown shade. I don't know what it's called. It's not on here, so that kind of stinks. And then for the pop of blue on my waterline, I don't know if you can tell, I use the LA Girl Pastel Dream Auto Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Powdered Blue. And then lastly, I'm pretty sure the last thing is my Fenty What Did You Miss? I just put a little bit of that. But yeah, I like overall how this look ended up turning out. Like I said, I don't love how that is transferring on top, but you know, I think it's a pretty look and I still am excited. I feel like each day I'm like, oh, I'm struggling, but I'm still excited to, you know, keep using this the rest of the week for you guys. But yeah, that is all for day 2. I will see you in 1 second, your time, and a day my time for day 3. Alrighty, we're back for day 3 with my Zendo palette. So we're gonna stick more with the pinks today. I'm gonna start off with the shade right here, which is Relief, and put that into my crease. Ooh, okay, that's a pretty like pinky coral shade. Oh, that shade is really pretty, I'm not gonna lie, and it's blending out really nicely. It's not getting patchy or anything, which I like to see it. I feel like I've struggled the past 2 days using this palette, so I'm hoping today I don't struggle. It does have quite a bit of kick up in the pan. It's her like normal matte shade. Okay, I'm next gonna go into this Vigor shade right next door. It's like a almost like reddy corally brownie shade. It's very unique, and we're going to put that in our outer corner and up into our crease a little bit. That's a really pretty shade too. It's definitely pulling a little bit more red on my eye than I was maybe anticipating, but that's okay. I feel like this shade is getting patchy over here. I don't know if you can tell on camera. Maybe I just needed to build it up a little bit. I don't know, guys. I don't know about this palette. Oh, I'm gonna go back into that Relief shade and just really make sure there's no harsh edges. Okay, next I'm going to, it's gonna be another really simple look, guys. I'm like the queen of simple looks. I never do anything too crazy, but I think I'm going to just take this Tranquil shade and put it on the inner half of my lid. I am going to use some NYX glitter glue though. Okay, I think I am going to then take Mindful, which is this like really pretty brown up here, and I'm going to line my eyes with that. This is also one of her cream to powder formulas, but I haven't struggled with this one as much as the other two. Just gonna really lightly line my eyes. It doesn't really add too much, but it's a little something. Okay, I'm gonna leave the eyes there for now. I will finish up my makeup and I will come back to show you the final look in 1 minute. Alrighty, so here is the final look for day 3. All I did to finish up the look was put a little tiny bit of Vigor like on the outer portion of my lower lash line and then smudged it out with that Relief shade. So I actually really like how this look turned out overall. This like, what is this called? Tranquil shimmer shade. It's not very intense or anything. It's just kind of like there. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like it, but it's not, okay. So for the rest of my makeup, for primer, I use my Tatcha, the Liquid Silk Canvas. I just have this little baby size. For foundation, I use the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It Foundation Plus Concealer. Okay, yesterday, while I filmed my like first impressions and wear test on this, I can link that in the eye and down below for you if you missed it. Spoiler alert, I'm obsessed with this foundation. It is stunning. Like, I love it so much. For concealer, I use my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue concealer. I set it all with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. For bronzer and highlight, I use my Charlotte Tilbury, her mini Film Store Bronze and Glow. For blush, I use my Hourglass Diffused Heat blush. I figured this corally shade would go really well with the eyeshadow. For brows, I use my Milani Weekend Brow, and then I use my Colourpop Clear Feather Effect Styling Wax. Again today, this is only my second time using it, and I don't know, I'm on the fence. I haven't decided how I think about it yet. Then for mascara, I use my Tarte Maneater mascara. Then for lips, I use my Tower 28 Oat like jelly lip gloss. I just went really simple with the lips, and then I set it all with my Benefit Porefessional Super Setter spray. I think that was all. I feel like I always am like missing something when I go through my makeup, but I think that is everything. But yeah, Mike and I are about to go take my car to get an oil change, and we're gonna eat some lunch. I have some errands to run. I'm gonna return a few things to Ulta. But yeah, that was my look for day 3. I'll be back in 1 second your time, a day my time, for day 4. See you then. We are back for day 4. Day 4. What the heck? This week has been flying by. Okay, we're gonna do a more bronzy kind of look, and I'm feeling a pop of blue on the lower lash line. We'll see how this goes. We are gonna start off with Balance right here and put that in my crease. Okay, I got kind of crazy with that shade. So we're just gonna take a clean brush and just kind of like blend that out. Okay, now I want to take Mindful, which is this really pretty shade up here in the corner. I really love it. It's like a rich, deep brown, but it's her cream to powder formula, and I haven't been having the best luck with that formula this past like week, past couple of days. So I think I'm just gonna put it on with my finger. We're gonna put it all over the lid and really pack it on there. Like so. I definitely think it looks a little more deep and rich on my finger than on my eye, but that's okay. I have no idea if I'm supposed to use my finger with the cream to powder formula. I don't know. And I am going to take a little denser of a brush and just kind of put that into the crease as well. Try to mesh the two together. And then go back in with a little bit of balance. That looks good for now. So I don't know what I want to do now. So I'm going to take this Luster shade, which is this beautiful gold shade. And I don't know if I just want to pack that in the middle and kind of make like a halo-y eye, or if I want to pack it all over the lid. So I'm just going to take a little bit and pack it in the middle and see how that looks. Okay, we're going all over the lid. I like those two layered together a lot. Okay, and then I think to kind of bring in that little bit of a more halo-y looking eye, I'm going to take Sense now, which is down here in the corner. And I think I'm just going to put that on like the outer and inner half of my eye. It's like a little bit more of like a bronzy shade. Just kind of pack that. See what that looks like. Oh yeah. It's very subtle. But that little bit of difference is pretty. I'm going to take Luster again and just repack it in the middle. Alright, so that's where I'm going to stop for now. I do want to have like a blue lower lash line, so I think I am going to end up taking Mantra and put that on my lower lash line. I guess you will see when I come back if I've actually done that or not, but I think that would look like a cool pop. I like this. I just feel like the shimmers are just very lackluster, which I think is a lot of people's critique on this palette so far. So I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and I will come back in a second and show you the final look. Alrighty, so here is the final look for day 4. We had a wardrobe change. I had to change my shirt because as I was applying my mascara, it fell, and my shirt was like 3-tone, where it was like pink, white, and then gray at the bottom. And of course, the mascara fell right on the white part. And I love that shirt, so I immediately got up and like sprayed it with stain remover. So I'm hoping it doesn't stain. I'm hoping. So this is the final look. I did end up adding the blue pop of color to the bottom lash line. All I did to do that was I put a little Mantra down at there on the bottom, but it was like, I don't know, not what I was expecting. So then I added a little bit of that Flow shade on top. You can't really tell, but there it is. It's just a little pop of blue. And then I also went ahead and just used that Balance shade to like tie in the like the top and the bottom, because the bottom was just like a random pop of blue and it was like, what are you doing there, bud? And then once I added the balance shade, it just kind of tied it in a little bit more. The rest of my makeup is my Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. I use my Physicians Formula Butter Believe It foundation again, 3rd day in a row. Can't stop, won't stop. I freaking love this foundation. Then for concealer, I use my Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape. To set under my eyes and a little bit in my T-zone, I use my Baby Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is like the never-ending powder. Like, there's still so much left, and I've had this for like a year. It's insane. I don't know how it's still going. Then for cream bronzer, I use my Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. Then for blush, okay, I use these M Cosmetics Rose Milk. Well, I don't know what this is. It's a little like serum, but I think it's a serum blush. And then the shade is Rose Milk. This was sent to me by a friend in a little care package that she sent me some makeup that she had extras of. There's a piece of hair, I can see it. I think I got it. I don't know if it was my hair or my cat's hair. But anyways, she sent this to me with some makeup that she had extras of, or ones that just didn't work out for her. And I think she said that these were too dewy for her. And listen, this is the dewiest blush I've ever put on my face. I don't like it at all. Like, look how glowy and dewy my face is. And like, some people may like that, but I don't. Also, there's not a ton of pigmentation to it. So I'm probably never gonna use these again. I appreciate my friends sending them my way for me to test out, but yeah, I do not care for these at all. And actually, I'm going to end up, after I'm done recording this, put a powder blush on top to kind of tone it down a little bit. Then for cream highlight, I use my Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. One of the best, so good. For mascara, I use my Grande Primer, my Grande Cosmetics Primer, and my Oma Drama Bomb. This was the culprit that got on my shirt. You better not stain it. I'll be so upset. I added a little wing liner with my Benefit Roller Lash in the brown shade. Then I did add some of my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Brightening Pencil in my waterline. For brows, I use my Milani Weekend Brow ABH Brow Gel. And then for lips, I use my Patrick Ta Lip Creme in the shade She Is Secure. I haven't put setting spray on yet because, again, I'm going to put a powder blush on top to kind of tone down this dewiness. But after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add the Benefit the Porefessional Super Setter on top. I'm almost done with this, so I'm trying to use it up. So yeah, that was all of my makeup. This is the final look. I actually really like this look. And honestly, of the 4 days so far, this is the least I've struggled with my look, which is, you know, nice. It's a good feeling to not struggle with your makeup. But yeah, these shimmers are just, I don't know, they're just so lackluster. So I don't know. I'm excited for day 5. I have no idea what look I'm going to make. I'm definitely going to have to look at this palette for a few minutes and try to decide what I want to do. But I am excited to finish up the week with it and give you my final thoughts tomorrow. So I will see you in a second for that. All right, guys, we are back for the 5th and final day with my Zendo palette. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad this week is over and I'm going to be done using this palette for right now. I'm gonna do a really simple look. I am just really not insanely inspired by this palette and I've just kind of struggled with it this week and it's not my favorite. So I'm gonna do this final look for you guys and I'll wrap up my thoughts at the end. But I'm gonna do a really simple look today and I'm just going to take Zeal right here and we're gonna put that in the crease. Hopefully it doesn't get patchy, we shall see. So I'm gonna do a really light layer at first and then build it. This week, I don't know, I feel like I didn't get as out of my comfort zone with this palette as I was anticipating. Part of me is bummed about that because I put like the pressure on myself to like try to create like insanely cool looks with these 1 week 1 palettes. And I don't know why I do that to myself because no one is expecting me to like make out of this world revolutionary eye looks. No one's expecting that. And honestly, if you're watching me, you're probably not coming to my channel for those type of eye looks. There are a million other channels out there that, you know, make incredible eye looks. And I've just been feeling very uninspired this week with this palette and I feel like I haven't really gotten out of my comfort zone and made like really awesome looks. Like I don't know if there's been like one so far that I'm like, I love this look, I'm gonna recreate it, it's bomb. Okay, actually I am going to dust a really light amount of this on my lid as well because the shade I want to go over it with is, or the shade I want to put on my lid is not really like super pigmented, it's more sheer. Just so there's a little bit of a base down. Like that is getting really patchy. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, it's skipping in the inner corner like it always does on my eyes, but even like here in the crease, I don't know if you can tell on camera. It's just getting like patchy, I don't know. Okay, and then I am gonna put glitter primer on my lid, and then I'm just gonna take Yama and I'm just going to put that all over my lid, and that's probably all I'm gonna do. I know that's a very simple, boring look, but that's all I got in me today with this palette. I do really like this Yama shade though. It is very, very beautiful. Honestly, so far, it's probably my favorite shade in the palette. I am trying to like put it up a little bit into the crease as well. I kind of just want it everywhere because it's such a pretty shade. Okay, I know that this is like the most boring, simple, basic look pretty much ever. But I'm gonna leave it there. I really am. I'm not gonna do anything else with this eye look. So I'm gonna go finish my makeup and I'm gonna come back and tell you my final thoughts on this palette and my experience with it this week. So, be right back. Alrighty, so here is the final look for day 5. All I did was take that Zeal shade and put it along my lower lash line and then added more Yama on my lower lash line because I just love this shade, and I literally said earlier, I meant it, I want it everywhere. I want it everywhere. I just think it's so beautiful and stunning, the shift from like gold to green. Chef's kiss. I love it. So the rest of my makeup, before I get into my final thoughts of the palette, I mixed together, no, I didn't use primer, actually. No primer, because I was doing a first impressions on the new Glowish Multi-Dew Skin Tint by Huda Beauty. So I'm pretty sure that video is going up before this one, so I will link that down below for you to check out in case you missed it. But I ended up mixing together the Multi-Dew Skin Tint and the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. And then for concealer, I also use my Pretty Fresh concealer. I set everything with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking Setting Powder in the shade Pound Cake. For bronzer, I also tried out their new Glow Wish Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder in the shade 01 Light. Again, my thoughts on this is in that video if you want to check it out. For blush, I use my Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush in the shade Call My Blush. And then for highlight, I use my Nabla Ozone Highlight. For brows, I use my Milani Weekend Brow and my ABH Clear Brow Gel. Again, I'm pretty sure this is like the 3rd day in a row that I've used that combination. I love it. For mascara, I use my Tarte Man Eater Mascara. Again, I think it's like the 3rd day in a row I've used that too. For my lips, I used my Colourpop Cool BFF lip liner, and then I topped it with my Tower 28 Oat lip gloss. Oat lip gloss. And then for setting spray, I used my Benefit Porefessional Super Setter again. So that was all of my makeup for the last day. Okay, my thoughts on this palette. Honestly, I don't think I would get it, guys. I don't. Okay, I like it. I think it's pretty. I think the shades are very stunning. I bought this palette to get me out of my comfort zone because these are not shades that I would necessarily pair together. I wanted it to inspire me and get me out of my comfort zone to try new combinations and new eyeshadow looks. I didn't do that this week though. So I don't want to completely blame that on the palette. I mean, that could have just really been me, maybe not, you know, having a ton of like inspiration, a ton of creativity this week, but I like look at this palette and I don't fully know what to do with the colors and the shades together, if that makes sense. Also, I pretty much struggled every day. I think yesterday was the only day that I didn't like super struggle with it, and I didn't like I mean, I liked the look I made. I liked all 5 of the looks I made, but I didn't love them. Like none of them I was like, oh my gosh, I love this look. I'm gonna recreate it. It's stunning, it's beautiful. Maybe this one is the only one that I really think is like super pretty, but that's mainly just because this Yama shade is stunning, and that's probably like my favorite shade in this palette. But I don't recommend you getting a $65 palette for one shade. The cream to powder eyeshadows are very difficult for me to use personally. There's, I think, 4 of them in here. Mindful, Calm, I'm pretty sure Breath is, and I'm pretty sure Mantra is. And I just really struggled. The one I struggle with least is Mindful, but even that was like a little hard to use. The mattes they're fine. I mean, they're really not like, I don't think Natasha Denona's best matte formula. This Zeal shade got pretty patchy on me today. And then her shimmers are just pretty lackluster. I am so used to Natasha Denona's shimmers just being super impactful and stunning and shimmery and sparkly and just like eye-catching. And this Yama shade is like the only one that I think does that. I mean, I think I used like every single shimmer in here. Maybe not Aura. I don't think I used Aura. But I think I used every single other one, and they're just like, okay, they're just not the quality that I'm used to from Natasha Denona. Definitely my least favorite of the 4 middies that I own by her. I own Glam, Sunrise, Love, and then now this one. And it's definitely my least favorite of the 4. I'm definitely kind of glad that this week is over and I can use another eyeshadow palette tomorrow. I know that stinks because, I mean, this is not a cheap palette. I think if you're gonna use these shades, maybe get it on sale. I don't think I would pay full price for this. If you're gonna use these shades and these are like absolutely stunning shades to you, then go for it. Just know that you might struggle and the shimmers are not as impactful as normal Natasha Denona shimmers seem to be from my past experiences with her. So I personally don't really recommend getting this palette. I kind of regret buying it a little tiny bit. I'm glad I tried it, and I'm not gonna return. I mean, I bought it from the Natasha Denona website, so I wouldn't even know the process of returning it. But even if I bought it from Sephora, I don't think I would return it. It's not like terrible, but it's not my favorite, and I'm probably not going to be reaching for it a whole ton, which really, really stinks. I was really expecting and hoping and wanting to love this palette and have it knock my socks off, and it sadly didn't. So let me know down below if you picked up this palette, what your thoughts are. I know a lot of my friends on Instagram were waiting to hear reviews on this, so hopefully this was helpful if you have your eyes on this palette and you were wanting to know about it and looks you can make with it and stuff. I hope this was helpful for you to see in action, me making 5 different looks for you. Again, let me know down below if you got it, and if you did get it, what are your thoughts? Do you struggle with it a little bit like me, or do you absolutely love it? It's your favorite palette ever. I want to hear all of your guys' details below. Other than that, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.